I don't know if I should answer that. Just because the internet is forever. But I'm also very messy sometimes. So I want to answer it. I want to do it. Why not?
Hi, my name is Abby Maria.
Hi, my name is Saul.
Hi, my name is Wendell Holland.
My name is Brandon Donlin.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Gabler, the Alligabler, coming to you live on Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Survivor Squared, because today, for the first time in this show's history, we are talking to a member of a cast that started this show's history. Season 49 was the first season of Survivor that Survivor Squared covered live on the YouTube channel, and today, in a season that I dubbed the Dynamic Duos, we are talking to half of a dynamic duo that tried to middle their way to the finish. Mr. Jawan Pitts steps in with me and Bailey, and we have a long, fantastic conversation about everything Season 49 and Season 50. Jawan's journey through that season and his journey since. He gives some advice for the players about to compete on 51 and 52 now that he has done the full circle of that fan to survivor to fan journey. He also talks about not only Rizo and Savannah's game on 49, but their games on 50 and how it's shaping out in the biggest season in Survivor's history. And of course, I ask him the question that's been bugging me since Season 49 aired. If Sage was sitting next to Jawan in the jury instead of at Final Tribal, and we had the Tres Leches trio sitting in front of him, who would he have voted for? Who played the best game on Survivor 49? Jawan is a fantastic interview. It's a fantastic conversation. I loved every second of it, and I can't wait for y'all to see it. But if this is the first time seeing this page, welcome to the channel. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, help this channel grow. And also, stick around to the end because we are doing our first ever giveaway on the Survivor Squared channel, and you'll be able to see how to get into that at the end of the show. But for now, I'm throwing off the 50 buff, throwing on the 49, and we're talking to Jawan Pitts coming up next. And as I said in the intro, I'm wearing the Season 49 buff for a reason. I understand it's not the right tribe. It's the only buff I have because Bailey collects all the buffs and only gives me what she's allowed to give me. But we are very excited to welcome on the show a person we've wanted on the show since we started covering his season on Survivor Squared. Come on in, Jawan Pitts. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Tony, what is poppin', man? Nice buff. I gotta hook you up with a red one, though. I mean, I was no shade to color, but I gotta hook you up with an Uli buff.
I'll take it. I will gladly accept any and all Survivor material. I had Jeremy on here saying he wanted to send me a second chance Cambodia buff. Send it over, Jeremy. I'll send over the address. We will take anything and everything. Did you get like a bunch of material? Because I know when I was talking to Eva, she had like her torch and stuff. Like, did you get all that stuff from your show?
Yeah, I got all that stuff. And it's crazy. I just moved apartments, so all my stuff is like crammed in my closet. But, you know, they give you a little box, and I'm like one of the only people, or I think it's me and two other people that have every buff. Like I did the whole beach tour, so I have a blue buff too. Yeah.
That's awesome. So let me ask you, and I don't want to break any scabs open this early in the show, but do you only have your bag, or do you have Savannah's bag as well?
All right, it's been fun logging off.
It's like shots fired so early, Tony.
Dang, we like 2 minutes into the podcast. No, I love that. No, I just have mine. I sent Savannah's bag through the mail a couple weeks ago, so she's good. We're all good.
I know me and Bailey have been thrilled to talk to you, to get you on this show, to break down everything that Survivor 50 is going on, to take your perspective from 49 into 50, also knocking it forward to the next two seasons that are going out there, 51 and 52. We have so much to talk to you about, but I know in particular, Bailey's been pumped to have you on this pod, right, Bales?
I have been. Joanna, I haven't stopped talking about what a joy and a light you are since we met that other night. You just have such a beautiful energy about you, and you were one of my favorite people on 49. I think we talked about it a ton, and I wrote down how much I just resonated with you, and I just think you're such a cool, real person, and so I'm really excited just to get to pick your brain and hear, and also you're a super fan of the show, so like I think it's so cool to hear your perspective as someone who's been such a fan of the show as well, not just a player, so I'm really excited just to pick your brain and hear your perspective on all things Survivor.
Bailey, that's so sweet. I appreciate that. Like I said to you guys when I first met y'all at that watch party, I'm like, it's so weird still for me like as someone that's been on the show, but also I've been a super fan for way longer, to have people come up to me and be like, Jawan, I'm like, me? Like, I'm just a dork. So it's honestly really cool to know that people want to talk to me. So thanks.
Well, let's start there, because I have a couple of questions I want to ask you today. And I on your season's premiere episode, I had Eva Erickson from season 48 on our show, and we talked about her journey from being a fan to being on the show, and now she's back in the fan role. She gets to watch season 49, with fresh eyes. And I kind of asked her for how that relationship was with her to the show, because I know, being on these internet streets for as long as I have been, sometimes you put videos out there and you don't get the most pleasant of comments and replies back. And I can only imagine what it's like for people who are on Survivor, who are on network television, primetime television. Sometimes you put yourself out there and you've wanted to do this for so long, and finally you're here. And sometimes people aren't exactly the nicest online because they're hiding behind a screen and a keyboard. So as we have 51 and 52, these new castmates going out there to film their seasons that'll come out later this year and next year, I'll ask you the same question I asked Eva. Do you have any advice for these new castmates that are going to have this newfound fame and their moment in the sun? Do you have any advice for them on how to deal with it all?
That's such a beautiful question, Tony. Thank you for asking me that. I think for me, as someone that, I thought I would go out there and crush it and like be like unstoppable, because I'm like, I read every Reddit thread and watch every podcast. I thought I would go out there and kill it. But I think the biggest thing that helped me, and I want to encourage anyone going out to 51 or 52, these new players, is, it's their job, the producers, the editors, to create a reality show, not a documentary. And that helped me so much. That helped me take off my hat of pride and be like, wait, I said this one thing, I did this one thing. But the reality is, it's kind of like the history books. We only see the side that won. That's the perspective everyone's seeing. So I think the more that you take a step back, and journal helped me a lot, going to therapy helped me a lot, but learning that, like, not taking everything so personal, like the audience only sees one side of the story. So I think it's the more as you continue to try to process that, the easier your journey is. So
I haven't heard that perspective, the fact that it is a reality show, not a documentary. That's definitely a unique perspective to have. Did you have that when you were on the island, or was that more of after it all came to you, Yeah.
No, I struggled. Bro, that's something I learned in therapy, dog. I was like, oh, damn. Y'all should have told me this a couple months ago when I was crying. What the hell? No, it took me a while to learn that.
Hey, at least we got there. At least we got there. Right, Bill?
Oh, 1,000%. And I love that you speak so openly about going to therapy. I think that's really so important. I'm such an advocate for therapy, but I think it's really important, especially to hear from the male perspective, how influential and positive it can be. So thank you for being such an advocate for that. I think it's really badass.
You touched a bit on how, the producers and the editors are there to shape the story of the winner's angle of that. And you yourself are a video editor. And so I kind of want to delve into that if we push it to season 50. Because we're seeing versions of this story. Survivor already knows who's going to be at least in the final 3. They already know the story that they're trying to tell, so they showcase some players and they don't showcase other ones, or they show them in a different light. And so I want to know from you, because me and Bailey are just fans. We're sitting there imbibing it, enjoying it, reacting to what's being shown to us. But I want to know you as a man who does this. Like, you tell stories via visual art, so you can tell, maybe you can see things that you can see where the lines are drawn, where the cuts are made, and what angles we're showing, what point of views we're getting. So out of season 50, is there anything that you, the editing mind, sees that we haven't? Is there any story being told that we should maybe focus on this season?
That is such a good question. Yeah, I think, as a video editor, I'm kind of like, it's weird because I view Survivor very differently. I look at the edit, I look at the confessional count. I've been doing that before I ever went on the show, and it sucks because I'm like, I can't really enjoy it as much because I'm like, oh, well, this person has to make it far because after tribal council, we're hearing from their perspective more often. But I think, trying to take that hat off, it is cool. I feel like with this season, I think there's themes this season, which is really cool. The editors are trying to show. So the first big one in early was old school versus new school, which is such a beautiful theme. And we saw that early throughout the season, but also the whole honor and integrity group versus whoever else is like the fluidity group. Like, I think the editors are trying to show that division too. And then the people that are in the middle that float between the two groups. And also, can I just quickly say, I pray moving forward in the new era, we bring back themes. Heroes versus villains too. Second chances too. Yes. Lions, tigers, whatever, bears. I don't know. Like, we need something. Like,
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so
tell me about it.
Blood versus water. I need another blood versus water. I need family members from some of my favorites. I'm thirsty for it.
Next generations, like the kids.
Anything. Me and Bailey have talked about this at length on this show, and it makes sense. It doesn't make sense that they don't do it, because it's so easy to, even after the show is filmed, strap a theme on there just to give us, the viewers, a sense of these people. Because when you get a blood versus water, I don't need Tyson returning. I love Jeremy's season and San Juan del Sur, because we immediately knew who these people were because they were with their father, they were with their wife. So we know those relationships, and we get a sense of who they are. Even a stupid theme like heroes, hustlers, and healers, like, we get a tiny sense of who these people are by who they're placed in this group. It's, no offense to the worst part of the new era, and why people, I think, really, separate the two from the old era and the new era, is the fact that you guys don't have themes to your names. I have no idea what number season Chrissy was on or Aubrey was on, but I know she was on Game Changers. I know she was on Heroes, Hustlers, or whatever. Like, I know those. I couldn't tell you what the number is. They get too confusing. Sorry to go off on my rant.
No, go off.
I also think it's so silly, because this is something Tony and I spoke about, but Jawan, it seemed like your season had a theme almost, in the sense of like tribals in a pirate ship, and you're getting like Triton as your immunity idol. It's like, just throw on out shipwrecked at sea, like whatever. I don't care.
Yep.
Just put something, like, just you're already basically leading into it. Just like commit, my guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh my gosh! If you look at our banner, it was so much potential. I'm like, just
I got it right here.
Right, it just had like the
49
pirate
is
ship.
a rope.
Yo, when I first saw the logo, I was like, oh, what are we doing? This is fun. Even when I saw my cast, I'm like, is this David versus Goliath 2? Because there's a lot of nerds. Like, what are we doing? And then I just saw 49. I'm like, oh, not bad. I'm glad to be here, but come on. We had potential.
I want to just start diving into a little bit of your relationship, specifically with Rizo and Savannah, just seeing that obviously they were on 50. So one of my first questions I actually have, just because your season is so particular, did you guys know before you started filming that there were still available spots on 50? Or was that something once Jeff said it to you in the episode? Because us as viewers, it was made for us to believe that you didn't know that until it was kind of expressed by Jeff. Did you guys know, or was that something that you understood once he said it to you? And if it was once he said it to you, did you see that change people's gameplay? Did you see that light a fire under certain people, or how did that kind of, change the dynamic?
That's such a great question. I think early on throughout the game, I think the pre-merge, we weren't sure about 50 at all. I think, before the game even started, Jeff, you talked to the producers, there's this big meeting, and they were really much being like, this is your time. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Be like, this is your season. And it wasn't until the halfway point, like the merge episode for us, when we're all on the same beach and we're getting given the black buff, which I was like, oh, this is awesome. I think that's when Jeff hit us with the, all right, y'all need to step it up. Because our season was kind of a slow burn season. We had another disaster tribe. We had a medevac. And I think we just seen it so many times, unfortunately, especially we don't got no theme. So this all starts to blur together. And I think Jeff kind of knew that too. But I think he at that point, he gave us a big, like, kind of like a speech being like, hey, like at this rate, we still have not, fully picked out our cast for 50. If you guys want to like get on 50, step it up. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I would say that kind of impacted me a little bit, you know?
Sure.
Just to talk about my game a little bit. Is
Yeah.
that cool if I just start venting a little
No,
bit?
I want to get it. Yeah, I want to get into that.
Yeah, it's so interesting with this season with the honor and integrity group, but also the fluidity group. I would say, you know, believe it or not, the first act of my game, if you look at my game, I was honor and integrity. Like, I really was riding hard for the Uli 4, which I thought was the Uli 4. And then it wasn't until I was blessed by running into Sage on the second tribe swap where she was like, oh, Jawan, they don't like you. I was like, oh, so then I had to like twist a little bit and adapt, you know?
Yeah.
So I played a more fluid game, but I can't lie. Yeah, that speech that Jeff gave, I don't think it fully made air, but that definitely resonated with me. I'm like, oh, I need to make some moves. I can't just be the guy that gets to the end and didn't try, you know?
I want to touch how you and Sage kind of played your game on season 49 by sort of floating in the middle and trying to go back and forth and getting yourselves to the end together. And then we're seeing that now on season 50 where they're calling them the floaters, the Christian Devons, the Emilys of the world that are just out there trying to play the middle, except everyone knows they're playing the middle. Like you and Sage were sort of a surprise until things got going. It's like, oh man, Jawan and Sage aren't with us. They're with them. So was that something you had coming on to the island, like this is how I want to play my game? Were you wanting to do the honor and integrity from the beginning, find a core 4, go to the end? Or was that speech sort of the mark where you were like, this is how I can get there?
Believe it or not, as someone that watched all these podcasts, read every Reddit thread, I surprisingly went into the game with one idea. I just wanted to treat people how I wanted to be treated and hope that honesty and that, like, you know, genuine quality would rub off on people. I fumbled the bag on Uli hard because I was so nervous. And you know, early in the game, you know, it takes literally nothing to get you voted out. But I will say, you know, being a fan of the show, my favorite seasons of U.S. Survivor are Cambodia, Survivor Second Chances, and Cagayan is my favorite season. And when I think about watching those seasons before I played, it impacted me because those seasons are more fluid. Those seasons are more like voting blocks. Like, we might work together today, but tomorrow I might vote you out. So that impacted me a lot. And also, I think this kind of hurt my game too. But before I went out to play, I dropped my phone. I'm sorry. Edit
You're good.
Edit that out. Just to pick that back up, which really hurt my game was I watched Australian Survivor. Do you guys watch Australian Survivor?
That's what's next. That's what's next on my run here. Yeah, once Survivor 50 is over, I'm going through all of them.
Dude, do me a favor. We got to watch Titans versus Rebels. And that season is so fun and chaotic and messy. There's people looking for idols day one. There's like people flip-flopping but like moving. And I don't know why I thought that game would be similar to this game. I'm like, they're very different games. But all that to say is, I didn't really have a strategy where I wanted to ping pong back and forth. I think I've been blessed with like the cards I had. I think, you know, luck plays a part in Survivor too. If we go to one tribal council early days in the Uli, I'm gone first, you know? And I think the tribe swaps really worked out for me a little bit. And then I ran into Sage, you know? And I'm just grateful, you know? When I look back at my story now, I can look back and see that I had a little arc a little bit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah. Also,
is that?
Can I? No,
go for it. No, go for it.
I was just going to talk about Rizzo a little bit.
Of course, I have Rizzo written down.
That was my
next. Sure.
Okay, look at us. Look at us.
Dive into it. We're perfect.
Yeah, just to jump into my bro Rizzo, which you didn't see on 49. It was me and Rizzo were actually pretty close. They don't show it because Savannah wins and he has his group. But I think early days he's one of the reasons why I don't peep that Savannah's coming from my neck early days. It's because he's sharing a lot of information with me. So it is interesting when you look at Rizzo's game in 49, it's almost borderline honor and integrity. He stays loyal to that one group and rides it out to the end. But it's really cool to see the juxtaposition in this, where he's the middle. I'm like, that's me. That's what I did in 50, or what I did in 49. I got so much heat for it. So it's going to be interesting. It's cool seeing this side of him, but also it makes me, lastly, I'm yapping a lot, but lastly, it makes me feel good to see that he's kicking butt in this season, because I got so much heat from my family and friends being like, how are you going to let somebody named Riz guy kick your butt? I'm like, wait a minute. He's not an average player at all.
No.
And he wasn't actively saying Riz God on the island. He only said that behind the scenes. So I'm like, how do I know? I don't know. He's calling himself the man, the myth, the legend. So anyway, that's my little.
That's such a funny thing to hear, because I think everyone assumes that he's just on the island, just RIZGOD, Riz God, baby, like all day long.
I do want to touch on that, because it's a huge conversation with Rizzo, that me and Bailey have with Rizzo, because we fell in love with the kid watching season 49, but we wondered, and Rick Devens brings this up, I think, during season 50, like, you don't know how the public perceives you yet because you haven't seen your season. You've only played it. And he goes right into playing 50 after playing 49. So he has no idea what the public's going to think of him, and he's still doing the same Rizzo things because he has that bravado, that confidence about him. But it's so unique to me to hear your perspective of it, in that we're getting confessional Rizzo, but you guys are getting just Rizzo. And he's much more tame in himself and honor and integrity and telling you, like, so it's so unique to me to see the two levels that this guy's playing, knowing when to be on camera and knowing when to be playing the game. So let me ask you this, because we got the sense when he was playing 49 and he's doing all these idol tricks continuously at Tribal, fake playing the idol, playing a fake idol. No, I'm not actually going to play it, juggling it around and then playing it when he has to. And then he gets voted out at fire making, so we don't get to see the jury, check mark his game. We don't get to see you guys sling back your arrows and throw them at Rizzo's game like you did the other three ladies that were up there. I wanted to see how the jury felt about Rizzo, seeing it all from your seats. And so now we still don't know how 49 feels about Rizzo, just like we don't know how 50 feels about Rizzo. The only name we got was Chrissy this week in her exit press going, Rizzo to me was a 0-vote finalist. Nobody believes in the kid. And as Bailey brought up in our recent episode, Aubrey was forced to flush her idol, and yet Rizzo is keeping his, even though most people know he has it. And I'm wondering, is it because the people don't respect, they're not scared of Rizzo? So I don't want you to trash anybody or anything like that. Let me ask you instead, if Sage is sitting next to you on the jury instead of being in Final Tribal, and Final Tribal is Rizzo, Sophie Bellardi, and Savannah, Trace Leches is in front of you, and they explain to you their games. Jawan, where is your vote going? Because you voted for Sage. That option's no longer there. If those three are out there, who wins Final Tribal for you?
Tony, this is such a messy, juicy, but good question. And I have it right here in my notes. I have it. And I was looking at that question. I'm like, I don't know if I should answer that. Just because the internet is forever. But I'm also very messy sometimes. So I want to answer it. I want to do it. Why not? So the answer is twofold. It's like, who do I feel played the best game out of those three? Yeah. And also, who would I vote for? Because I'm an emotional dude. You notice, like what I said at Final Tribal Council, I'm like, I vote with my heart. And so that plays a part just for me. And also, this is just my opinion. Like, everyone on the jury is different. So to talk about who I thought at that point, if those three get to the end, who played the best game, I think the beautiful part of Tres Leches was they were so skilled in every department. So Savannah was like a specialist in challenges. Like when her back's against the wall, she was a threat. Soph was so skilled socially that she survived a disaster tribe and basically was the horror movie equivalent of like the final girl.
The final girl.
She is the final girl. You know? And then Rizzo was like so skilled strategically. I think that he was aware of the meta of people getting voted out with idols, and he weaponized that because people since 46 were playing so defensively. He thought about that and was like, all right, well, if people are now afraid of idols, let me just hold on to it. So he weaponized that. So when you look at these different departments, physicality, social ability, and strategic, prowess, which would Jawan vote for? And it's hard. It's very hard because I thought I didn't do any of those three super well. But so I think for me, my vote would go to whoever I felt closest to. And they don't show this on the island, but I was really close with Rizzo. So I think it would have been very close between Rizzo and Soph. And to give, Soph some more props, she had a really baller ass final tribal council. She, really, they don't show this, but Christina's wild question to Savannah.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Name one person.
Iconic.
Soph was like, can I try? And she named like everyone. She named my 4 siblings. I was like, hold up, I didn't even tell you that. Like,
my girl.
Yeah, so she kind of ate that question up. And she did something kind of crazy too. Her the knowledge is power thing. And we had questions about like, all right, you misplayed that. What happened there?
Yeah.
And I thought her answer she was like, well, I didn't need to take Rizzo's idol because that was already my idol. He was working for me. I didn't need to take it. I was like, whoa, who the hell is this? It was so gangster. It was so cool. And I want to give Soph her props there. So it would have been interesting to see how Rizzo rebutted to that.
Yeah.
Because I think Savannah was on her A game at Final Tribal. Soph was on her A game. But I will say Rizzo, when he got voted out, we were not happy to see that man. It was like not all hugs, and because he was like, woohoo, Idol City every week. So when he got back to the jury house, we were like, what's up? What's popping? And I thought the way that he handled himself was so cool and so composed for a 25-year-old to be like, hey, this was just my dream. This was my dream. And I feel proud of the game I played. I don't know if you guys feel proud of it, but I feel proud of it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So I know I'm dancing around the question, but
no, I get it.
Either Rizzo or Soph for me. It would have been hard. And also, I want to finish by saying this. Savannah deserves to win Survivor 49. Like, point blank, period. Her back was against the wall. She thugged it out. She should have been gone like 3 days. Like, she should have been gone super early. Yeah. And we left her around, not just because she didn't just win her way to the end. There was votes where, I got voted out over Savannah. I'm like, what? Yeah. How are y'all voting me out over Savannah? And that says a lot about her game. So even though Jawan, who votes with his heart, would probably either vote for Soph or Rizzo, that doesn't mean that Savannah's any less deserving. And I'm so glad that she was on 50,
Jawan, I gotta say, before we go any further, you said you're ready to be messy, and this could be a messy answer. That was the cleanest version of a great answer. Like you explained every part of your opinion. You got through all the levels of it. You gave respect to every one of the players. There was nothing messy about that. Thank you for letting us in on that insight, because it is true. When you're sitting on that jury, it is your vote. It is your opinion. Maria's going to vote for Kenzie or Charlie, and it's her choice and why she wants to do it. Like, that's her vote. And I get mad at bitter juries sometimes. I've talked about in my recaps how I don't agree that some people deserve their victories. I'm not sitting in the jury. I'm not the one making that decision. And all I ask for is what you just gave me, is that your perspective on all these 3 games. And I'll also say, I believe 49 will be a slept-on season that years from now, people, when they go back and rewatch all the seasons, they're going to talk about how great 49 was because of the story is told with those 3 Tres Leches people and everything going on around them. It is unfair that you guys had 50 around the corner and everyone kind of sort of knew who was going to make 50, and it kind of sort of spoiled some of the season that was going on. It is such a great season from the beginning, as you said, a slow burn of these 2 tribes getting ready to take each other on, and then as soon as the merge happens, it's like, no, we're flipping the script. We're going over here, you're going over there. Savannah's back is against the wall. Sophie's the final girl. Rizzo's doing his thing. Like, it is so much fun to watch that all unfold to the finish. No offense to Sage, who played a great game herself. I yearned for Trace Leche's final tribal because I wanted to see those three people, as you said, the three pillars of their game, talk about their game and explain why they were the best version of it, because it's what Survivor's all about, those three levels, and they all represented it so well. Loved all of that to say. Thank you for your answer, and that's everything I wanted out of that answer.
Thank you for saying that, too, because I always have this fear of being like, dang, I don't want to be on a poop season of Survivor.
Yeah, you weren't.
But I do think our season will hopefully age like wine a little bit, because I remember when 46 was airing and we had the whole Bono a couple episodes, and I remember being on Reddit for that, and people were like, what has happened to Survivor? We've lost it. Like Bonnie's casting, like fire casting. And I just was so worried. But now if you look at it, I feel like anytime people rank the new era, 46 is always in the top 2 now. So it's aged better. And
yes,
it hurts my heart when I think about how spoiled our season was. I'm like, there's an alternate universe where like people don't know Savannah and Rizzo was on 50. It changes way differently, because when you see me and Sage and Steven, you think we're the main characters. We're like, we're not the main character. So that would have been such a cool reveal. And to see Rizzo work his way from the bottom, it would have been so awesome. But
when Nate gets blindsided, it's literally a 6-3. Trace Leche is on the bottom, and it's like, oh, because we knew what the ending was, it was like, well, how's this going to work? If you were there, and we didn't know that, it's like such a great Phoenix rising from the ashes moment. But yes, sorry to cut you off. I'm right there with you.
No, I agree. I think that was such a spoiler. I think it was a disservice to the fan base to have that announcement already been released pre the season, or right at the beginning of the season, because it just made you as a viewer have a different perspective necessarily than what the edit was specifically telling you, because there were so many times that you and Steven were the highlight, or MC, or like just the different spotlights on different people. And so it was just, I think that was a little bit of a disservice to you guys. I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah. I feel like, me and my horror movies, I love scary movies, but I go out of my way not to watch trailers, because trailers sometimes, at least for me as a video editor, when I see something, it stamps in my brain. So I could be watching in a movie theater like, oh, well, I know this character might die, so he can't be the killer. And I'm like, that I shouldn't be thinking that as I'm watching this, whatever is being told to me. So, I feel like with people knowing Savannah and Rizzo were on 50, it's kind of like the ending of a horror movie. And I'm like, it's not as fun.
No.
It's not as fun. But I'm still grateful that I got an opportunity to play.
That's actually why my biggest I'm right there with you, trying to avoid trailers at all costs. But one of my biggest angry moments in Los Angeles, as I live in Los Angeles, as do you, is last year driving down and you see this beautiful Sinners billboard, one of the best movies of last year. And what's on the Sinners billboard but Michael B. Jordan in that tank top, and he's in the lake, and he's got the other guy next to him, and they're scared looking off camera. That's the last shot of the most pivotal part of the film. And that was on a billboard for all of LA. So I'm going there seeing it. That image is ingrained in my memory. And I'm like, we still haven't gotten to that moment in the lake. When's that going to happen? It's the final moment of the film.
They had that on a billboard?
On a billboard.
They had that on a billboard?
Same thing with, I don't know if you ever saw Him that came out last year. Not as good as Sinners, don't get me started. But the billboard of that is him doing the cross with the footballs in his hands, like the Jesus Christ move. That's the end of the movie. And it's like, why are you giving that up on the billboard? Sorry to go down that route.
That's a different podcast. That's a different podcast. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Him, man. I keep my thoughts to myself. Sorry, Jordan Peele. I love you. I love you, Jordan, if you're listening.
We love you, Jordan.
We love you,
Jordan.
All right, Bailey, any more Survivor questions? Because I do have a movie question for Jawan, but I want to stay on Survivor for as long as possible.
I have one more. This is something I like to ask any of our guests, just because, again, as a viewer and a fan, I'm always very curious. But I would love to hear about your outside of the game relationship with Sage now. Are you guys still close? Do you visit? Do you talk? Like, you guys were so beautiful. That goodbye that you had when you got eliminated and she got so emotional, that hug between you two has stuck with me for so long. And I feel like you two were just super bonded. So I would love to hear more about that relationship outside of the game.
Why are you making me get all cheesy, man? Yeah, if you don't like cheesy stuff, just skip past this part, man. just jump. Give them another time code to jump to. Oh,
The world
man.
needs cheesy right now. The world needs
man.
heartfelt.
When I think about Sage, I think about like having a big sister, which is so cool. You know, you hear all the time with past players like, "Oh, I didn't win the $1 million, but this friendship is more than that." And I honestly could say that this friendship is really. I mean, the money would have been nice. The money would have been really cool, but I'm so blessed that I have someone like that in my life at this stage. I am a people pleaser. I will say anything to make you guys feel comfortable. It's so cool to have someone that you know will be 100% honest with you out of love. And will be willing to like stand up for me when I feel like I'm alone, and you know, not to get too deep into it, but 49, there were some parts where I felt really alone. I felt like I was the misfit. I felt like I wasn't cool enough to even be on this podcast, you know, or talk to anybody. But I think it's so cool to have someone that sees you, you know, and I think they did a good job showing some of our wacky moments and stuff, but we really connected on mental health and not, you know, some of the hardships we had growing up. So I think it's easy, you know, to look at Sage and be like, oh, she fumbled the bag, she didn't do this right. But I think to her core, she is someone that I think means well, and I think oftentimes get misunderstood. So I'm just so blessed that like now I have that as like a sister, and I'm just grateful. So sorry to be cheesy, but we play Roblox like every other night. I'm probably going to call her right after this to play Roblox. So yeah, that's my bestie. That's my bestie.
I love that, though. That's why I ask that question, because I want to hear the cheesiness. I want to hear about those bonds that we don't get to follow through with. So that makes my heart happy.
No, it makes me happy too. I again, and it makes me happy, Jawan, that you gave us your time to be on this show, because we wanted to talk to you for so long. We wanted to break down 49. Obviously, we covered that week by week. It's our first season covering it on Survivor Squared, so it's always going to have a special place in our heart. And we, you know, fell for every one of you guys. Like, the Survivor does such a great job, even if you're voted off first. Like, Survivor does a great job of telling you at least a little bit of everyone's story. And Joanne, we got to see so much of you on CBS and on camera, and then to then meet you in person and to have conversations with you and have this, like, it's we like you for realsies now, and it's great to have that real personal relationship, and it's great to have this conversation and be open about the game that we all love and the game that you got to play. But there's another thing that you love, and I do want to end this on a non-Survivor note, because I am a movie buff. Bailey is a movie buff. We went to school for theater, in drama. We moved to LA to chase our dreams out here. We love the world of movies. I am an AMC A-lister, and yes, I got the email that they're raising the prices yet again, and guess what? I'm going to keep paying it because I use it enough that it pays for itself.
It pays itself.
I don't know if you know this, Jawan, but me and my buddies run a fantasy movie league where we draft at the beginning of the year a slate of movies, and whoever makes the most money in the worldwide box office wins that league. And it is an absolute blasty blast to be in. And there are so many movies coming out this particular year, especially during the summer. All these greats. We have the Avengers coming back, a Spider-Man movie, Christopher Nolan's back in theaters, all of these great, great movies coming back. There's so many to choose from. Which movie in particular is Jawan going to be there night one to get in there and can't wait to see? He's going through his notes.
My notes, sorry. The first one, you said it, Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey. Man, we talk about trailers. Have y'all seen the trailer to that movie? It's just 5 minutes of like amazing. I'm like, you know, if the trailers is just a 5 minute, just the cut of the movie, you're like, this is going to be amazing. They didn't really do anything. They just showed the scenes from the movie. And by the way, you better bring, you know, a blanket, you better bring a pillow, snacks. Like, you're going to probably take a nap. It's probably going to be 4 hours long. And I'm going to enjoy every hour. So Odyssey, also Spider-Man 4. It's cool to see Tom Holland return, and it looks like it's going to be a more grounded feature, but also more gritty and dark, kind of like Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
I think that's the one, right? Or is it 3? Is 3 when he's like the suit? Which one is it?
I think three's the
Venom
one where he
suit.
has the Venom suit. Yeah, three's the one with the Venom
Yes.
suit. Yeah.
Yes, so it's cool to see like Tom Holland kind of do more like dark and gritty. So I'm excited for that. I love Spider-Man.
And Tom Holland's
and then-
great at it.
He's
Yes.
so good.
He really is a fantastic Spider-Man.
You guys are Marvel fans too?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, Nate. Again, I'm sorry. All right, now to go into like my horror movies. You guys like horror?
Absolutely.
I have a whole horror sleeve of tattoos on my leg. I'm
No,
like
you
I'm a
don't.
horror fanatic. Yes.
Let's go. Wait, what's your favorite horror movie?
Okay, so people get upset with me because technically this is more of a psychological thriller, but it goes under the umbrella of horror. Silence of the Lambs is my favorite movie of all time, like of all time. But I also love The Shining. I love Cabin in the Woods. I love It Follows. I love
Yes.
Weapons. I mean, I love
Oh,
so
Weapons
many.
was
Even
excellent.
Invasions of the
my
Body
gosh.
Snatchers, like original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like everything but The Hills Have Eyes and the Hostel movies. I'm pretty down for.
Okay, you're speaking my language. I don't do body horror, none of that.
Yeah.
We need to have like a horror movie podcast because you just said all my favorites. That's awesome. I love that. I'm really excited for. Did you see the trailer for Obsession? It looks a little crazy.
It was very unsettling.
The last one is Passenger. It's a Paramount Pictures horror film. The trailer to that is really good too. You should look it up. It looks like it's just like a guy driving on a dirt road at nighttime, and he keeps seeing the same dude on loop.
Yes.
Yes.
He gets in the car wreck and then his friend like disappears. Yeah. Oh, I
Yes.
just saw that the other day.
Yes. Yeah, maybe don't watch a trailer. I think sometimes with these horror films, it's good to just walk.
I
in
usually
blind,
don't.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually don't. That's fantastic. I got 4 movies now that are on the list. Odyssey was my first pick in the fantasy movie box office league. That I'm very happy to have that on my roster. I think it's going to make a bajillion dollars and more. But the rest of them I'm all excited to see as well. And Jawan, I'm so thrilled that you got to join us on this podcast to talk about everything on Survivor, to give us a little bit of insight into Survivor 50. Excited to see the continuation of this floaters versus honor and integrity group, who ends up coming out, because there's still a strong group on there with Joe and everyone, with Jonathan, that wants to try to stick together. So I'm interested to see how it all plays out. Only 11 players left. Oh, you got one more?
Can I ask one question before we sign
Yeah.
off?
Yeah.
Who are y'all rooting for, and who do you think can win? Because there's a difference there. Who we want to win, and who do you think can win? I watched the podcast. You guys are some Cerie stands like me.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
who do we think can win? I'm curious, Bailey and Tony.
I want Sari to win. I think there's a chance, but I also think it's going to be really tough for her to actually get there because everyone is smart and they know that she's going to be a tough person to beat in Final Tribal. Who do I think will actually win? I do think it might be one of the floaters. My money might be on Aubrey, maybe a Tiff, someone that has kind of managed to play the middle and will maybe strike towards the end. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards.
I am genuinely rooting for almost everyone on that island. And I know that's an easy thing to say, but like when you look at it, and I'm a sports fan, I treat Survivor like it's a sport. And at the end of the day, like, you know, we think Michael Jordan is the greatest player ever, mostly because he has the 6 rings. He's also an excellent player, but it's also you need to have the hardware. And all of these players adding Survivor 50 hardware to their mantle would be it would send them all into the stratosphere. It would cement Cerie on Mount Rushmore, or Ozzy on Mount Rushmore. It would send a player like Joe or Jonathan into the moon of like this new era great coming from it. Rizzo too, Emily Flippin, and then Christian and Rick Devens to come back, especially Rick Devens, who many people argue should have won his season if it wasn't for the fire making thing. So all of these guys getting that Survivor 50 crown would do so much for their place in history in Survivor. And I'm always looking at it that way because I come from the world of sports. So it's easy for me to root for every single one of them. Who do I think can win? I agree with Bailey. That floating group, especially after both Coach and Chrissy went home this way, it's so much easier for them to gain control and gain power. I think the only thing standing in their way is the Cerie, Ozzy, Rizzo group, because wherever they decide to land, whether it's that honor and integrity, the floaters that are still left on that side, or if it's the Christian, Devens, Aubrey, Emily group, Rizzo, Ozzy, and Cerie are going to decide who runs the rest of this game. And I don't know if that ends up hurting them or helping them in the end. So I'm rooting for all of them. If I had to pick someone, I'd say a Christian or a Rick Devens on the floater side of it. But what about you, Jawan? There's 11 people left. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think wins?
The way that you said that was so on point, man. I'm in the same ballpark. I'm just going to merge both of your answers together. I'm rooting for Sari.
Yeah.
If Sari wins, end the show. We're good. But, who I think could actually win, like, edit-wise, as Jawan, the editor, I'm just looking at, I'm looking at Christian. I love Christian. And I do think if he has a beautiful story, if he wins, talking about his kid and, being a David, like, I think that's a beautiful, that would be such a fun way to end 50. But I would be lying to say if I wasn't worried about my boy. I feel like you're right. It's going to come down to Sari, Rizzo, and Ozzy. And I think, he could get caught in the middle of the war. So worried about my boy, but I'm rooting for Christian.
Well, we shall see. We have a few episodes left, 11 people to go down. Bailey Buffs and I will be on here every single Thursday breaking down the episodes of Survivor Squared. Every Monday we'll have a new guest on here, just like Jawan, to give us unique insight into how this game is played. We do have our first ever giveaway on this show that's happening at the end of Survivor Season 50. We are pulling the name of who wins out of the hat on the finale episode. The way you can sign up is following this message right here. But first, we have to say goodbye to Jawan. Thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend.
Guys, this was a blast. We got to do another horror movie talk. And it just feels so good and an honor to be a part of this podcast. Great job.
Absolutely. Guys. It was a thrill to have you here, my friend. We shall talk more in the future, maybe about movies, maybe about Survivor, but either way, we're all in LA. We all get to hang out together. But that is it for this episode of Survivor Squared. We shall see you on Thursday. But listen for the puzzle. I never know how to end these shows. Okay. Want to practice puzzles before going on Survivor? Don't worry, Survivor Squared has got you. Happy to say we are partnering with Puzzling Design, who creates custom puzzles inspired by competition reality shows, including Survivor. They make replicas, remix, fully original puzzle designs, and their work combines over a decade of engineering expertise with 3D printing, woodworking, and vinyl graphics to turn your specific vision into a memorable competitive experience. And here at Survivor Squared, we are giving away our very own Survivor Squared themed slide puzzle. The way you can enter is do two things. Number one, comment on the episode you are watching right now, whether it's on Spotify or YouTube, wherever you are, leave a comment and try to write something more than just hello. Make it engaging, have a conversation. And number two, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Even if you're listening to this podcast on an audio-only platform, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's how I'm going to pick who the winner is. And we will be drawing the winner on our Season 50 finale podcast. That's when we will break down who wins this show, who wins this Survivor slide puzzle, and send it directly to you. But excited to do our first giveaway on the Survivor Squared podcast. Leave us a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you could be getting your very own slide puzzle. But now, back to the show.